When I saw some imaging of the Nissan Ariya, I thought to myself, there's no way they're going to make a vehicle that looks as good as this one. And thankfully, I was wrong. At least subjectively, I think it's one of the best looking SUVs, period. Now, in this video, I'll give you a quick little whistle-stop tour about the vehicle and furthermore, my first driving impressions. Now, to kick off, I should mention that there are 4 different models at launch. 2 front-wheel drive and 2 all-wheel drive trims, the latter denoted by E-Force. This is Nissan's latest technology in order to improve driving dynamics. Both the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models are available with a 63 kilowatt and 87 kilowatt battery packs, with prices starting from just shy of £42,000 and rising up to around £58,000. Here, Nissan claims that you can attain up to 310 miles on the WLTP cycle from the 4-wheel drive 87 kilowatt hour model, where this drops to 223 miles in the 4-wheel drive 63 kilowatt hour battery. Now, as for straight line speed, the top spec dual motor Ariya has up to 290 kilowatts of power. That equates to 389 horsepower with 600 Newton meters of torque, where you can attain 62 miles an hour from a standstill in 5.1 seconds. And better still, it has a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Now, as for the single motor configuration, this has up to 178 kilowatts of power. That equates to 239 horsepower. Here you've got 300 Newton meters of torque as opposed to the 600 Newton meters in the dual motor configuration, and this means that you'll get to 62 miles an hour from a standstill in 7.6 seconds. And as a result of a missing motor, you have a 52-48 split instead. Now, in order to recoup energy back into the battery pack, there's regenerative braking, whereby Nissan has incorporated e-pedal mode, which we first saw in the Leaf. This allows for one-pedal driving and takes the stress away when you're going within inner city commutes. To recharge the vehicle at a much more rapid rate, all European models come equipped with a CCS port and not indeed the shadow mode port that you'd find on the non-European models. Now, these models will accept up to 130 kilowatts of input, while on the Type 2 port in the 63 kilowatt hour version, you'll have up to 7.4 kilowatts of input. But on the larger battery pack models, there is a 22 kilowatt onboard charger, and therefore means that you can recoup energy at a much faster rate. So how's the vehicle when it comes to driving? Well, I must say I'm actually pretty impressed. I was not expecting to be, well, taken back from not only its performance but also its handling characteristics. The vehicle just feels nimble, specifically when you're in its sport preset, and yet feels serene and comfortable to drive. It's a good sort of combination to have, at least for an SUV. You don't see many electric SUVs having that same sort of blend between driver's input and feel and handling, and also ones that will also give you a, well, comfortable driving experience. I know we're driving on a circuit right now. It's got very little anomalies, if any, and it is not exactly real life driving scenario, even though Nissan have done their best to include the stop signs and the different traffic signs, so therefore it gives you kind of a city or mountainous type of driving experience. But still, the suspension setup just feels so soft, and I can't hear it either. It's really serene. You can't hear anything. It's great. I absolutely love this. Now, the vehicle is also very easy to maneuver. I would say it's not as easy to maneuver as the likes of the Nissan Qashqai e-Power, which just felt a little bit easier, but nevertheless, for a relatively large size SUV, got no complaints whatsoever. But it just keeps giving me that smile when I'm going around at speed and braking harshly, then turning in and hearing my tripod fall at the back seats. It's absolutely brilliant. I like what Nissan have done. I really do like what Nissan have done. I can't wait to actually try this on regular roads and see how it will actually do when it comes to just going around your regular city commutes or your country roads. It'll be interesting. Definitely interesting to see, the least. And, well, I just hope you guys can experience this soon rather than later. Anyway, it's 120 over here, so put my foot down. That's kilometers, by the way. Now, aside from its driving characteristics, the Ariya has a spacious and modern interior design whereby even the center console can be moved back and forth to create space at the front and rear of the cabin respectively. Now, Nissan has also included 2 glove boxes, which intriguingly one of them is electronically operated via the haptic buttons found towards the center console. Speaking of which, technology is at the forefront of the vehicle's cabin design, with 2 12.3-inch displays positioned around the driver, with haptic control buttons found towards the dashboards. These are actually quite intuitive to use while you're on the move. Nevertheless, a head-up display can also be added as part of the Bose tech pack, which also comprises of a digitalized rear view mirror and a 10-speaker configuration, and this comes in at an additional £1,750. Elsewhere, boot capacity sits at 466 litres in the 2-wheel drive model and drops to 480 litres due to the inclusion of a secondary rear motor in the all-wheel drive variant. It should be mentioned that there's an underfloor compartment for your charging cables and there's no front storage space either. Note, the model on test had 60/40 split folding rear seats and cup holders within the rear armrest. Both legroom and headroom at the front and rear of the cabin were excellent, and unsurprisingly, like the Nissan Leaf, seat comfort was also class leading. Now, I appreciate this video has been relatively short, but hopefully you've attained some useful information, and I'd be intrigued to hear your thoughts in a comment section below. Of course, do stay tuned for the detailed review of the vehicle itself that will go live on the channel at a later date. And if you do want to see that, and if you haven't already, definitely do drop a like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Chris from TotallyEV, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.